Thanks, Silas, also. So today we are, as you all of you know, that we are gonna go for the taste project. So what is basically the taste project, which is like uniform always. We already have like many automation tools and many things is provided. So there's something unique features and very unique things regarding the taste. So basically, this project is based on the Selenium and APM library. Selenium and APM is both open source, and they are used for the web application and mobile application display. In Taste project, it has like even if you are from a known coding background or from a coding background, you can just start with a Taste project. It doesn't matter that you know a code or you don't know a code. So it's like that. Then yeah. Then let's see the point about Taste Project. So Taste Project provides end-to-end testing, automation for web, mobile, and API testing. So it's free forever. So there are no registration charges. There are not like any free trial for some time. So it's fully free over. You can use every single feature of Taste Project for free itself. Then it's a community power. So you can say like Taste Project is giving you something. So the community is also giving something. So I will come to that also. Okay, so let's see some features. So first of all, that Taste Project is providing AI capabilities. Like there is some AI capabilities inbuilt the Taste Project, which help you in creative tasting, recording, and everything. Then there is a automation assistant. Uh,
Harsh, sorry to disturb you. Can you be a bit louder? Your voice is a bit slow.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Yeah. So second feature is automation assistant. Then there is a one more like additive weight. So in additive weight, what is in Selenium, there are many things like we have to like implicit weight or explicitly weight. In Taste project, there is a adaptive weight feature which is very good. So what it does basically that it automatically recognizes that which element or which thing is required, how much time. So based on that, it automatically sets the times. Then there is a open SDK. So what open SDK is provided, as I told you that if you want to be code, if you want to like code in a Java, Python or C#, you can just leverage the open SDK and you can just alongside you can use all the Taste project features. Then there is a CI/CD integration. So in CI/CD integration, you can just go through your Jenkins and Docker. So it will just complete your cycle from CI to CD approach, hold everything. Then there is a cloud execution. So if you want to be like that, I want to be keep my project, my all of the Taste scripts in the cloud in a Taste project itself, and I want to be executed in also everything on cloud. So I don't have to be involved in like any local environment, or I don't have to be in include any of my personal machines or anything. Then there is a team collaboration. So if you're like working in an organization, if part of a huge team, so you want to be like in the same project, you want to be shared with everyone. So Taste project provides that and so seamlessly works. Then let's move on to the registration part. So when you navigate to the Taste project site, you will see there a sign up button. So just you have to like mention your name, email ID, and password. And after signing up, you will receive a email confirmation on your mentioned email ID. After confirming that, you will prompt to this screen. In this screen, there they will be asked about the various in which role you are working on. So there are many roles like a manager, like QA. If you want to monitor anything, then how do you plan to use the Taste project? So as I told you that codelessly, coded, API testing, web testing. So based on that, you can select all of this. Then agent. So agents are available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, and also for the Docker. So agents, what basically do? The agent is responsible for handling all your test cases and execute them on the browsers on based on whichever you are selecting. Then after this screen, so this will be the launch screen. So here you can manage your test cases. Then you can create a test cases. Then you can monitor and everything. Okay. So I will be moving ahead with the demo itself. Okay. So first of all, after creating a project, you can create a new project from here. After creating a new project, this will be the screen of it. So I will just start with creating a new folder. Okay. So after that, I will click on a create test. Okay. So here are the options. Like as I told you earlier, that test project provides end-to-end testing. So you can test a mobile application, web application, and code also. So if you have like already you are coding in any languages, so you can just upload your code with a jar file, DLL file, or a zip file, and you can just alongside you can use all the test projects. So we are just going ahead with the web first. Okay. So you have to mention the name here, then a description. Tags. So if you want to be like any tag like these days is for like a mobile or web or for a particular application, you can use a text here, like just like the demo offline. Yeah. After that, you have to create a web application. So on which web application you want to test. So right now we don't have any web application, so we need to create a one. Okay. So first of all, we are going to see this application. This is a demo example of test project itself. So we are going to see this. So I will just copy the URL and mention in my application details. Okay. So it's selected. Then I will click next. Okay. So test project, if you want to be record, as I told you earlier, that it's a built-in recording tool. So you can just record it or edit it. In edit, you have to like manually enter the steps, and if you want to record, a new browser instance will be open, and then whatever action you will perform, it will record. So we will go through the record. Yeah. So here a screen open with our mention application URL and a test project a step whatever a project or test you have created. So it will show here. So whatever action you perform in this application, it will be automatically recorded here. And if you want to be like add a manual step, you want to like a parameter, if you want to be locator, everything is be managed. So let's start the recording from here. And what I do, I will just click first of all on the full name here. I will enter my name. Okay. Then I will click on the password text box. Enter the password. Okay. After that, I will click on the login button. Okay. After creating a login button, there will be a new screen. So if you want to be like validate that whether it's login or not. So what we can do that on the this logout button will appear after the login. Okay. So what can we do that we can just double shift it, and it will show that what actions can we perform this button. Like if you want to be click on that, you click if visible, click multiple times. So there are multiple actions available. Then there are some validations that I want to check if there is a text content with my expected result or not, if this element is present or not. Then I will go through the attributes. So attribute will show me that the expert, the tag name, tags, ID, and everything. Okay. So we will just go through the validation that is it present or not. Okay. So here it's been recorded that is logout or logout button present. Okay. So after recording, if you want to be like taste the same thing which have been recorded, so you can just do it in the same instance which has opened. So you don't like to save it again, then come back again. So you can just hit the run, and it will execute in the same browser itself. So here also you can see that a green means a step is been passed, gray means step has been skipped, and red means the step has been failed. So what validation we have provided here is that is logout button present. So yeah, it's showing the green. That means present. Okay. So let me show you the other things as well. Okay. So as I told you that adaptive wait. So what adaptive wait is do that it wait for certain elements for a certain time. You don't have to be mentioned like any time or anything like that. This project itself will adjust based on its capabilities. Then there is an automation assistant. So what an automation assistant do? There are some elements like which taste or our browser is being detected like it has been clicked, but in the real time it has not been clicked. So automation assistant is a AI tool which analyze that it has been really click on that or it haven't. So automation assistant will check that. Okay. So what I do here, I will show you one thing of the taste project here. So what I do is that this is a CSS selector for the name element. For this full name element for this text box. So what we will do that we'll just click on the edit and we will change it. We will change the CSS selector. We will just change this and the save. Okay. And then we will try to run it again. Okay. So here you can see that the expected element on step number 2 is missing. Don't worry, taste project AI is looking for another part forward. Okay, so it automatically detects that the mentioned path is not there, so it will go for the another part which is visible. Okay, so after that it tells me that taste project AI found a better way to locate your elements during the recording. Okay, so as you can see the name which we have changed, so it's not able to locate it. It just moved to the next locator which we have provided. Okay, so if you want to confirm those changes, you can just click on the confirm and it will update as it is. Okay, so after recording, you just need to close your browser and your taste will be recorded and saved into the taste project itself. So after that, if I want to change anything here, I can change it here. If I want to record it again, I can record it again. Okay. If I want to include a step as a taste, so there are some conditions like before logging, you need to be registered. So what I do that I will create a first taste for the register. Then I will go to the login taste, and in the login taste, I will include the registered taste itself. So what will it will do that it will register first and then move ahead for the log. Okay, so there are also many add-ons which are available in the taste project. So add-ons so basically do that it extends the current functionality of a taste project. So for suppose like I have to do certain operations. So if there are any add-ons available for that, I can do that. So here is a one add-on like accept alert. So there is like any pop-up alert or any alert. So if I want to accept it, I can just use that add-on and I will just use that functionality in my test itself. Okay. So what next we can do that right now we just hard coded the values like the name and password. Now what we'll do that this value will come from a parameter. Okay, so here is a parameter type. So there is a two type of parameters. One is a taste parameter and another is a project parameters. Okay, so taste parameter scope will be within this taste itself, and the project parameter will be the global. It can be accessed in any taste cases. Okay. So for what we need to do, we need to create a parameter for a name and for a password. So what we will do, we create the taste parameter from there. Username, value, if you want to mention any default value, you can. and then in a type we will select it as an output parameter. Okay, we will create another parameter for password and a value. Okay, so there are certain things or certain variables which which should be protected. So in this case, the password should be protected. No other person, or it shouldn't be visible anywhere in your test or reports. So what test project provide, it will say that do we want to make this parameter a secret. So when we do that, the value will not be visible anywhere. So we will just click on the output and see. After that, we will go to our step in which we have hard coded our value. What we do, we just clear them out, click on the use parameter, and then click on the username. Same thing we will do for the password. Clear the value, select the password value. Okay. After that, you will just hit on the save and exit. Okay. So the test has been saved, and now I want to be executed. So I will just hit on this icon, run icon. I will select which browser I have to select. The agents, I have installed my agent itself. So agent detects all the available browsers in your systems, whether it's it even detects the mobile. If any mobile device is connected, either it's what you say, like a simulator or like the normal device, agent will detect itself. Okay, so right now we will execute on the Chrome. I will just select the Chrome and I will hit the next. Okay, the application URL, we don't have to change any application URL right now, so I will click on the run. After that, there is a monitor tab. So monitor tab will show you that if any ongoing execution is going on in your agent. So it will just appear here in a while. A new Chrome instance is been opened. Enter the full name, execution done. After that, the execution will be appear here. The latest under the latest runtime, you can show the report of your last execution. So I will just hit on the report, and it will show me the report detail report. That in the first step I have navigated, then I enter, then I type the value, then password. Password, as I told you, the password value will not be shown. It will be in a string. Then I hit the login button. It will show everything in the test report. If you want to download it, you can download it as a summary report and a full report as well. Okay. So you don't have to be like import anything or just create error. It has a built-in functionality of report. You can just use it. Okay. So what we have done here, that we done a parameterization of our projects. Okay. So if I want to be like there are like many occurrences that there will be like 5 username or 5 password. So what will I do? I will do the data driven test. So in that case, the test project itself provides it. So what I need to do, I will click here and I will go through the CSV parameter templates. Okay, so it has downloaded the template file. We have selected the parameter as the output. So that's why it's an option. We have to mention it as an input parameter. Then I will click on the CSV parameter files. Okay, so it shows the application URL, password, and username. We don't need to change the application URL right now. So we are just going the username and password. So I will enter the couple of entries for username and password. Okay, and I will just save my file. Okay. So after that, the CSV file which have been created, we have to import it as a data source. In the left tab, you can see that there is a test which is the sorry about that. Then there will be the element, application, data source, and parameters. So let's go through first parameter. So a parameter will not show here because we haven't declared as a global parameter. We have declared them as a project parameter. So in this screen, only the global parameters will show. Then the data source. Right now we don't have a data source, any data source. So we will add the new file here. Click on upload. Yeah. I will go back to my test again. And here what I can do during the execution time, I will select this one, and here I will use a data source. So what it will do that it will override the default parameters what we have mentioned. So I will select the data source and run. A new window will open. Let me check this. Okay. I think file has not been saved. I will just edit it, discard this file and upload that file again. Again, go back to the test. Click on run. Select browser. Use data source. Will select my data source and hit on run. A new window has been opened. The first with the second entry, with the third entry. So what it did that whatever the elements and how many occurrence we have mentioned in our parameter file, it will iterate them that number of times. So in the report you will see the 1, 2, and 3. So in here that you can say the first is a Hertz, second is the Rakap, and third is a China. Okay. So whatever the in the data source in the data file you have mentioned the values, so it will iterate in the number of times. Okay. Suppose if I want to be like put any conditions or any validations on a steps, like there should be some expected value, or there should be condition meet before actually before running this step. So I can just hit on that step, go to the advanced options, and I will add a condition. Like suppose I will create a new like a actual value. Actual value would be, let's say, 1. Save it. Okay. So what I do that the actual value equals to my expected value. I can create a new variable as well, and if I want to be like hard coded, I can hard code it. Let's create a new variable. Give the value same as the actual value. Okay. Then we will just save this step, save and exit again. We will run it. 1 second. Select the use data source if you want. We will just go for the default parameter, so it will just run only for the one time. Open a new instance, input the full name, password, and in this it will check the conditions. So if the condition is matched, so it has been passed, otherwise it will be failed, it will be skipped. We will just go through the report, check our last step. So here you can see there will be a new thing, like if, so it has been in a condition. So what is the condition is a parameter actual value must be equal to 1. Okay. So it has matched, that's why it's run. If the value is not been matched, so this step will be the this step will be skipped. So you can just automate your web applications also, API also, and mobile application also. So this is a basic demo of the web application. We will just next go through for the API. So for the API, you have to select web. Click on next. Application. Which application you want to use? In my case, I will use the RES website, which is a mock. It will provide a mock API. So I'll just copy the base URL, paste it here, click on done. Next. So in this case, there is an API. So there will be not like any UI or anything for that. So what will we will not record it here. We will just click on the edit, start editing. In this case, we will input the manual steps. So navigate to here, we don't need this. So I will just delete this. I will click on the add step manually. Okay. And here is a one add-on from which you can test your REST APIs. So the add-on name is RESTful API. When you input this in the Excel, it will show the HTTP delete, HTTP get, batch, post, and put. It will show all the HTTP methods which can be tested. We will just go first with the HTTP post. Okay, I will just go to this website, create, click on the endpoint, copy that URI, application URL / mention endpoint. Okay, body. In the body, we will keep the values expected status. So in this case, the expected status would be 201. So we will just input here 201. We will just store the response which we are getting. We will store it in one of the parameters. So the response. Okay. Select it. Save. So I will just hit the save and exit. I will run it. In this case, we don't have any UI part. So what we can do that we can execute this execution in the headless. So what headless browser will do that it will not open any UI instance for it. It will do use the execution in the background. So the next. You can observe the same thing from the monitor tab. The monitor tab in the under the currently running, it will show that the current browser, current agent is running. Yeah, so here it's API demo, then by and the current target. it has been finished and setting failed. So I will just click on report. Go to the report. So what we did here, a 2/ has been passed. So what we will go to the test. So due to that, it has been failed. So I will just remove extra slash from here, save and exit, hit the run again. LS browser, next and run. We'll go back to the monitor tab. Okay. So it's running right now. So execution done. So the green icon is appears. So one case has been passed. Let's see the repeat again. Okay, return the step and it input parameter. In the input we have provided our body, and in the response we have got the response from the API itself that whatever the data is should be provided and on which ID has been created. So what you need to do is
Harsh, sorry to disturb you. Can you change the mic, or like can you make your mic a bit nearer to your like voice or something? Your voice is a bit low.
Is it clear now? Yeah.
It's much better.
Yeah, sorry about that. So what we want to do, that we want to get this ID, and based on this ID we will want to perform something. So what will we do? We just go back to our test again. We will click on this step, and here you can see that there is a one JSON path. So in this case, what is running? The response which we are getting, so it's passing a one ID on which ID it has been created. So we want to fetch that ID. So we will just mention it here that I want ID in my. So what will we do? Right now it's printing the full response here. So what will we do now? It will just print the ID here, ID in the response. Just again save and exit. Then click on it. And run it again. We will go back to the monitor tab again. Okay, so progress is done. It will appear in the latest again in a while. Yeah. So we'll go back to the report again. Click the step and click on the output. So now we got the ID. Okay. So what we do next? We will hit again. We will enter HTTP cat. RESTful. And all methods will appear here. We will click on the HTTP GET request, our new base URL, and single user and our endpoint. We will copy paste it. Okay. Save and exit. I will again open it. Go back to the monitor tab. So in the meantime, what we can do is we will just see a couple of other things. Okay. So here as an output, if you want to store the response, you can store the whole response. If you want to store only the status, you can store the status. If you want to store the response headers, JSON response, schema validation, so you can do all of those things with the API. Okay. Yeah, so it has been again successfully. Yeah, so both our step post and get has been passed. Okay. We will see a couple more features of our web applications here. I will click on this step. I will go to the advanced options. Okay. So in the advanced option, there is a one thing like how to active the step fails. Okay. So by default, what it will do, it will fail the test. Okay. So if you want to like continue a test, recovery test, always pass, you can select as per your requirement. If you want to take the screenshots, you can take the screenshots. By default, it's on the failure. Okay. I show you the conditions. If you want to like meet the condition first and execute the step later, you can just do it here. Then the execution speed. So by default, the execution speed will be normal. If you want to set it the custom slow, turtle, so fast, you can do it from the. So, okay. Other options are so adaptive wait. So I told you that it will wait for the elements if you're like slower internet speed or anything. So it will automatically adjust based on the AI capabilities. Okay. So if you want to use it on the normal basis, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, you will just disable from the AI. Okay. Then there will be a repeat. So if I want to repeat it for the multiple times, I can do that. There is one nice feature like an invert step result. So by default, it's no. So when I turn it on, what it will do that if the current step has been passed, it will mark it as a false. And if it is false, it will mark it as a true. So it will just invert the result. So if you have like a certain condition based on that, you can perform certain conditions on that also. Okay. There is a one recovery test which I want to show you. Okay. So this is a one application for the bookstore. So in that we will input the username and password name. Click on the login button. Then there will be a button of the go to button store. So we will click on that, get the text. Okay. Let me execute it. So I will select the browser which I want to run. Next, and title book title input. So it will be the user input. So right now I will keeping it as a default. I will hit on the run. It will open a new Chrome browser instance. Okay, so it will input first the username, password. It will hit the login button. It hit the bookstore icon, and the book details will appear here. So based on the user input, it will select the book here. Okay, so it's executed. It's failed. We will go to the report, and in the report, we can see that the data which we have been provided to the user input is not there. So what it has done, it's marked it as a fail because the input has not been provided. It was not able to find that name which has mentioned in the user input variable. So it marked this those step as a fail. So in that step, what we did that we kept it as a recovery. So if there is some certain steps like it will fail or it will like a conditional fail. So in that step, what you can do, you can just select is a recovery. You will select your recovery test, and that recovery test will be executed. So what I did here is that I selected as a recovery test, and I mentioned the recovery test. And after the recovery runs, what I have to do, like I want to continue a test or a fail test or want to a repeat step. So in this condition, what I have done, I have mentioned it as a repeat step. So in report, there is a bookstore recovery, and there it will show the recovery test here. I will click on it, and what is done, the recovery test has been executed. Okay. So if you want to do certain kinds of things like want the recovery test if there is some certain conditions fail, so you can do that. Okay. Then we will go through. Okay. So with test project, you can also integrate your Jenkins. So if you want to use your Jenkins, you want to create a jobs, if you want to run your jobs from the Jenkins itself, you can do. There will be a plugin which has been provided by a test project. You can use that plugin. So here is my Jenkins dashboard. So I have set up couple of things. I will show you that. So after setting up Jenkins, what you have to do, you have to download a plugin. Okay. So after setting up Jenkins, you have to go to the Manage Jenkins. In Manage Jenkins, you have to click on then Manage Plugins. In Manage Plugin, you have to type it here. Is project. Okay, it will come in my install list because I already set up this. So a plugin will be available. It will come for you guys in the available tab. So after that, you have to just install it. After go back to the dashboard again, and after that you have to create the job. So what I did here, I created a job here for my test case. After that, in that job, we have to configure that in which agent and which job it should be executed. So under the configuration, we will go to the build, and build, in the build there will be a run test plugin. I will just do it again. Run test project. Okay. So the test project, you have to mention the test here. You have to mention which job you need to run. So in my case, there is a job Jenkins CSE. So I will click on it. Then you will click on which agent. So it will show all the list of my agents available for my that project. Okay. I will click on that. then a seconds for a wait. So how much seconds it will wait before it will mark has it full. So we will keep it like 300 seconds. So it will be like a couple of minutes. Save it. And what we do next, we will click on the build now. Okay. After build now, it will show under the build history. You can click on here, click on the console output, and it will show here. Right now it's running. It will open a new Chrome instance, and the same thing will be reflected to the test project browser. Okay, so in here there is a one application, Orange HRM. So what I am doing here, just I am logging in. Then I am checking that whether I have been logging successfully or not by clicking or by verifying on this all element, and I will log. So in this job, there is a I have mentioned all the browsers. So what you can do that via the jobs, you can mention all your browsers, and all of your test cases will run in your all of mentioned browsers. In test project, in monitor also it will show here that the current execution is being right now it's running. So then by Jenkins build number 8, and the current target is the Firefox. It's right now running on the Firefox. Firefox execution is completed. Now it will run on the Edge. So the current target Edge 3 out of 3. So all of this documentation, official documentation, will be shared by the team in the chat itself. Okay, it's right now completing. Yeah, it's right now running in the Edge browser. Okay, so execution has been completed. It will generate a report in a while. Okay. Okay, so there is also the cloud execution which your test project is providing. So if you want to be like, I want to keep my test in the test project itself. I will keep my test cases in test project, and I want to execute on the cloud itself. So what test project is providing? Test project is right now supporting the two cloud execution platform. It's a Source Labs and Browser Stack. So what you need to do, you just need to come under the integration, then click on the cloud execution and select the which platform you want to use. So in my case, I have selected the Browser Stack. In the Browser Stack, I have to mention my username and access key. You will find both things in your Browser Stack account. Okay. So after that, what will I do? I will select any test case. Let's run this test case. And in the agent section, you will see one more agents known as a virtual agents. Okay. So what it will do, it will open the Browser Stack supported devices. So in the Browser Stack, you can run on the different versions and different things and all of the browsers. So I will just select one of the browser with the Chrome and hit the next and run it. So what it will do, it will not run in any of your local agents. It will not interact with my agents. It will just go to the Browser Stack itself. It will run on the mentioned browser and it will read it. So with the test project, everything will be on the cloud. So you have to like your test case also on the test project itself, and you want to execute on the cloud itself. So you can do that. So it will generate a report in a while. Meanwhile, we can just go ahead. Okay. So let's come to integration. Okay. So in integration, as I told you before, that if you want to be like a code, if you want to be like I have a good knowledge in the Java or Python, and I want to code. But what you can do that you can just leverage the test project SDK which is provided. So the test project SDK is basically wrap upon the Selenium itself and it extend the functionalities of the Selenium and it. Okay. So what you need to do, you will just go to the integration tab, get your developer token and select your SDK. Okay. So right now Java, C# and Python is supported. Okay. So there is a documentation. So there are the official documentation and there is a repo of it. Okay. So I will show you the SDK for the Java and Python. Okay. Team will share all the documentation and all the Maven reporting in the chat itself. Okay. So I will first show you the pom.xml file, the dependency file. I have created a project in the Java Maven. So I have a pom.xml file. You can do the same thing via the Gradle also. I have created in the Maven format. Okay. So first of all, you have to give a dependency for the test project. Okay. So you have to a dependency for the test project for the Java SDK. Okay. Then if you want to go for the test ng, you can go for the test ng also, and if you want to like create in the normal Selenium also, you can do that. So what I have done here, we'll go to the test ng test. Okay. So like the normal Selenium itself, you have to mention your Chrome driver. I have created a one method, a before test method. In this method, I am doing a setup. So in that, what I have to do, I have to give a token. So this is a token which we have copy from here, a developer token. We have to give it to our agent itself. So what driver, a new driver, and which you have to run. So in this case, we are running on the Chrome itself. Okay. So with the remote address, and you have to mention a URL. So right now we want to run on our local agent. So we are just mentioning the local host and the agent port is 8585. Okay. If you want to run on any other agents, like if there is agents available in your account, you can just run it. You need to mention the remote address for that. Then the token, which we have stored in the token variable, and then the build. Okay. So right now here it's doing the basic setup. Then we are coming into our actual days. So what we are here doing, that we are just navigating to our example website of test project. We are finding an element and sending a key, finding the password element, sending the key, and we are just clicking on the login. Okay. So the same thing which we have done during the recording, we are doing the same thing via the code. So what I have done that I have stored the element of the logout, that is it visible or not. Okay. So if this element returns true, I will mark the test as a test pass, and if not, I will just print it out as a test false. Okay. And then there is a teardown. Okay. So let me execute this Java file. I will run it as a test engine because I have done this thing in the test engine. I will run it. It will open the new Chrome instance. It navigate it to our website, enter the name and password, and hit auto-log. So the current case is being passed. Okay. So as I told you that with the Open SDK, there is some external functionalities also. So we have passed our token here. So this test is also, the report will also be shown in our test project account. We will go to the monitor. We will go to the last execution. So in the last execution, you can see that the test and the example which we have run on the Java, it will appear in our test project reporting also. Okay, so it will print all the steps which we have did in our test. That will navigate to find elements, sending the key. Okay, so with the same thing you can do with the Java using the Open SDK. The test project is provided. The same thing you can do in the Python also. So I have done a code for the Python for the same thing. You have to like pass the token, give the URL. So in this case, there is a one thing I have to give the expert and I'm doing execution. So for the same thing, you can do it in the Python as well. So all the documentation are available in the test project also, when it will share in the chat also. Moving ahead. So what we will do now, we will create a new test, and at now we will see the test of the mobile. So mobile, click next. Right, demo. Click next. I will select on which platform I have to run. Either is Android or either is iOS. So right now we are performing on the Android itself. What I do, I will click right now there is a no application. So I will just click on the add new application. Okay. So connected devices. So right now my Android simulator is up and running. I will just click on here and it will just pop up. So Agent will detect all the simulator or if any physical device attached to your system itself. Okay. So I will just click on this simulator and also it will detect all the apps in the selected device. I will just click on this application and all the application available here, it will be load. Okay. So I will do something on calculator here. New has come here. Yeah. Click on next. Okay. So the same way, either you want to like record it or either you want to edit. You can do the both. So right now we will record. Okay. So after recording, the simulator screen will appear here. So you can see your emulator screen here. It will just load in a while. You don't have to set up anything like APM or anything. This project will do everything for you. Okay. So yeah. So right now it's opening the calculator application. It will just reset it. Okay. So reset application confirmation. It will ask you that do you want to reset your application? So I will just hit on the yes, and it will reset my the application which I have mentioned. So in this case, it's a calculator application. Okay. So after resetting, it will open our calculator application. Okay. So what I will do, I will do some submission here. I will just hit on the 2 first. We'll record that step. You click on the 4. Then I will click on the plus icon. Then I will click on the 3 and 6. Okay. And after that, I will do the. Okay. So we will get the value and we will do something on this. Just we will double click here. And it will show whatever the actions is available, validation if you want to do. I will do the validation of the content text here. A new step will be added. So what I do here, I will just add a new condition here. Okay, just let's save the value in a parameter first. We create a new parameter. Edit. Click on. Okay. Then I will go into the condition. I will select the parameter and I will give the condition of equal. It should match with the 60 value. Click on. will save this time. Okay, I will pause the recording and I will run this whole test again. So the first step will be it will reset the application, open it. Okay, then click on 24, then plus, then 36, and it will click on the equal to. Okay, so equal to, it will match the condition. If the condition is being met or not, it will check it. After you have completed your recording, you will just hit save and exit, and your test will appear here. Okay, so after that, if you want to execute it, if you want to run it, you can run it. So run it for a one time. Okay, so in this list also you will be able to show your connected emulator, and if you want to run out on a browser stack itself, you can do that also. Okay, so submission value we are just keeping it as a null because it will detect, it will get text from that, and we will open the simulator here so you can see that. Okay, it will open the application. After resetting, click on 2, 4 plus 36 and then equal to. Okay, so we will go to the monitor again, go to the last runs, hit on the report icon, and the report will appear. Okay, so this is how you can achieve the mobile testing also. If you want to do the mobile also, you can do it. Okay. I will just add one more test for the mobile, and I will show you the demo for the add-ons which are available for your Android devices. I will click on the Android again. Same application calculator. We will just do it on here, and now we will click on the edit. Okay, so after that I click on the edit, so I will just add a step here. Okay, in the type section I will just mention action, and then I will select action. So it will show me all the available add-ons which are available for our Android. So there are some add-ons like accept an incoming call for emulator. If you have like a physical device, you can't execute because it's for emulator. Then there are a couple more. What do we do? We will just first execute an incoming call. Okay, so we can just get the incoming call on the emulator. So we will first do the incoming call, and we have to mention a phone number. So we will just keep the phone number here. Hit on create. Okay, so we don't need the reset app because we are not doing anything on the app right now. So I will just delete this tab now. Okay, then I will add another step. Again, click on the actions, then select action. Then I will accept incoming call. Okay, so I have to mention from which number it has been accepted. So I will get this number, add this here. Okay, and create. Okay, so what we are doing right now here is we are simulating a call here for a number, and then we are accepting a that call from that specific. Okay, we can save and exit, and we will run it on our emulator. So right now there is an application open. So it will not open in as a full student code. It will appear in our notification. Okay. So here call has been from our mention mobile number, and it will accept it. Okay. We will just go to the monitor again. Again, the last execution, hit the report icon. and it will show that the both step has been passed from a get call and it has accepted a call from that. Okay, so let me show you one more demo for the mobile application. Okay, so in this test, what I'm doing that I'm calling a API for a weather, and I'm getting a location from that. And after getting a location, I'm storing it in a one variable. This is a step. I'm getting a I am calling a API from there. Okay. After it, I'm storing it in a variable. Okay. And after that, what I do, I will open a alarm application, and I will do the operation on the alarm. I will set the time, click on the OK, then click on the repeat. And after that, in the mention city, I will just type the name in the label itself. Okay. So let's run it. Okay, we don't it will get from the API, so I'm not inputting any value right now. Okay, so alarm application will open. It will first reset the application and then open it. Then it will right now it will call our API, get the CT, and then it will create a new alarm. So in this test case, what has done that you can do the API as well as mobile in the together. Okay. So in the label, I will store the value which I'm getting from the API itself. Yeah. So let's see something about the jobs here. So what job is basically doing that if you want to run the parallel execution, if you want to run the couple of test cases like the mobile, like 5 different application you need to test. Okay. So you can mention all those cases in a one job. You can schedule it. You can give the data source to it. Okay. So let's create a one new job. Let's create our project. Let's use webinar project. I will go into the folder, create a job, and which job you have to create, like web, Android, or iOS. Okay. So in this case, we will select the Android job. The name of it. You create a next. Okay. And then we will select that on which target the exhibition will start. So in this case, we will just click on the pixel itself. Click on create. Okay. So the job has been created. So right now it doesn't have any days here. So we will just drop days to here. Okay. So it will show the one days and on the one device. So we want to schedule it. You can just click on it, edit. We will just schedule a job here. If you want to like run it for the one time, or if you want to like recurring. So there is something like I have to perform a application. I have to perform certain tests on the recurring basis. So you can do that. So in this, we will just run it for the one time right now. So what we'll do, we will set the time. We'll just set for 4:25. Let me pick the date first. 4:25 time zone. Okay, and I will just click on the save. Okay, so after that, in the monitor, you will show that in the 4:25 there is a one scheduled job known as an Android job. Okay. So it will execute it by itself. You don't have to do anything about it. It will just run on the mentioned time. Okay. Yeah. So we will wait for that. Meanwhile, we can just go through the one more thing. click on the new test. Okay, so we have seen the mobile, web, and the API. So you can do all of those things from the test project itself. Okay, so if you have something like you're like a code created before that, and you want to import those codes in the test. Okay, so what we can do? Let me open the Eclipse, and in this test, what we it's based on our test project Open SDK. Okay, so what will I do? I will for this project I will create a jar file. Okay, and I will just upload that jar file into my project, and it will be uploaded here. Okay, so you can for a Maven project you can just create it via the Maven, and for the Gradle you can create it via the Gradle itself. Okay. So I have a one jar here which I have generated before. Yeah, so there is a one jar here. I will just click on the code. Next, I will drop that file here, and I will click on the upload. So in this case, you have to generate a jar with a dependency, because we have the dependency of the base project itself. So you have to generate a jar with a dependency. It will upload it. There is an official documentation available for this also. You can get that in the chat. Okay. So after uploading package, it is showing that there is a two cases. One name is a cal points and another is a test. Okay. So what we will do, we will just click on the next. We will define the package name. What will the package name of it? So we will just mention it as a coded test. Okay. So after that, it will appear in your test script when you click on it. So in this case, we have a two tests. So it will show both the cal points and test one here. Okay. So you can't edit it, or you can record it anything. You can't do anything, but you can execute it. Okay. So I will execute one of the tests. Click on run. And it will run. There is an official documentation available for the code test. You can just go through that. It will show you all how to generate a jar with a dependency, how you can import the Open SDK itself. Okay, so we will go to the monitor. Yeah, so right now it's running our code test. Browser has been also open. Yeah, so we will go to the report of it. Okay, so whichever the step we have written in our code, it will go through and brings the report for the same. Okay. Okay. So this is for all of our three tests which we can achieve on like mobile, web, and code. Okay. So before some time, the test project has announced 2.2. Okay. So there are like a couple of features which have been provided in the 2.0. I will go to the site of test project, show you that. Okay, so 2.2 is live. You can just go through it. So in the 2.0, there is like suppose there is a privacy. So right now all this our thesis is in the test project ground itself. Okay, so if there is any organization which have like a privacy concerns, so what you can in the 2.0, what you can do that you can download those your tests as well. Okay, and if you want to be like I don't want to keep any footprints on the test project itself, so you can do that. You can just record your test and it will download directly as a local file. It will not store anywhere in the test project. There will be no footprints of it. Okay, And after downloading it, you can just execute it as a normal also. Okay, all you need is the agent running. You don't need like any connection for communicating between the taste project and agent itself. Okay, so you don't need anything regarding that. Okay, so what I will do, I will just download one test. Okay, so I will just go to here, and what I can do, I can save it as a file. Okay, so after clicking a file, it will prompt me for if you want to save as a like a normal file. If I save as a normal file, it will download as a normal file. And if it has some add-ons, like if we are using a RESTful add-ons, or if we are using for a Android some add-ons, so what we you can download it as a taste package. So in the taste package, it will download all the dependency, okay, in the locally. After that, I will create what will the execution target. I will keep the Chrome browser as of now and click on the save. After save, it will download as a zip file. We have selected a taste package, so it will download it as a zip file. It will come to my download. Okay. So what now I can do? I can just open my CMD. I will just hit the taste project dash agent. Okay, so it will show me the all the commands like start command, connect command, register, browser, devices, validate, run, and help. Okay, so if you want to be like you don't want to go to the taste project and you want to do anything, and if you have some system like which doesn't have the internet, and if your applications which you are testing is available on the local network itself, so you can just download a agent. You can just connect to that agent. You can just download an offline file and you can execute it. Okay, so what will we do here? We will type this project agent run, and I will just drop the file here. Okay, so and I will click the enter. Okay, spelling mistake, sorry, my bad. Okay, so what it will do now, it will process the execution. It will process on our mentioned browser during the download, and it will just execute our page. And after execution has been completed, it will generate a report, a offline report, by HTML offline report, which you can see it in your local environment. So you don't need to go to the taste project and you need to go to the website or anything. You can just go to the local HTML reports, and you can just see that what execution has been done. Either it's failed or either it's been passed. Okay. So after that, it will show the execution report is here. I will copy it and run it in my let me go to the path. Okay, so report will be here. After that, the same report which we are creating in the taste project application, same kind of report we will get here. That the current test result has been passed, the duration, the Chrome itself, and what the step has been performed. And also the detailed element in the metadata like element click, and if any value has been passed. So everything you will get the detailed report. Okay. After that, if you want to be like during the download, I just selected as a Chrome. And if you want to be like I want to execute on the other browsers. Okay. So what you can do, you can just override the browser, or you can just extract it. I will just extract to. After that, I will go to the folder, and there will be a 3 file. And the expression of all those will be YAML. Okay. So what I can do, I will just click those 3 files and open in my VS Code. Okay. So first let's go to the package file. So the package file contains all of the steps which we are executing. So it will have all the values which we are passing. It will have the browser. It will have the locators also. So we will just go to the one locator, password locator. Okay. If something like you want to change your locator, if you want to change the priority of the locator, you can do it from the here. You don't need to go to the test project again. You just record it again. Nothing. You can just change in this file again, zip it, and you can do that. And in the setting, there will be the browser in which it will run. So right now it is running in the Firefox. I will just change it to the, sorry, right now it's running in the Chrome. I will change it to the Firefox. Okay, I will close the file. Select all of this file, make it a zip again. Okay, name will not be anything. Just name can be anything. I will open again CMD. This project again. And my zip file here. Okay, I will hit enter. So what it will do now, that it will run on the Firefox. It will not run on our Chrome browser itself. Okay, so you can see that the execution target here is the Firefox itself, not the Chrome. So with those, you can just overwrite if you want to change your value, if you want to change the parameters value, if you want to change your CSV file. There is a one CSV file also for the base parameter. So if you want to change the value of your parameters, you can change it. If you want to keep the occurrence of, so it will iterate based on that. Okay. So it has been executed. It's right now running. Okay, so close. Okay. So meanwhile, we can see we have scheduled a job at 4:25. So yeah, so that job has been executed at the our mentioned time. Okay, I will just go to the report again. And yeah, it has been successfully executed. Okay, so in the job, you can do a couple more of things like if you want to trigger an email during the start of the execution, during the finish of the execution, you can just trigger on the message. You will mention the email ID and it will trigger on those actions. Okay, and if there is a cases like we have created a test case on based on the our data file. So if you want to pass the data source also, so you will just click on, go to here, click on this icon, and I will select the which data source I want to use. Okay, so in this case we are not using data source. If there is a job which requires a data source, you can just give the data source from here as well. Okay, yeah. So let me show you something about the agents. So right now there is a 3 agents in my account. So there is a one virtual agent, and this agent is of the browser stack, so which we have integrated. So this agent is of that. Okay, so this agent HP agent is of my current machine, and another is agent for my of my next machine. Okay, so in here you can see one option like a public agent. Okay, so what public agents is do, if you want to like execute on the remote, if you want to be like I want to execute a test case on another agents. Okay, so if your agents is public, it can be accessed. If it is marked as a false, it will not access. Okay? So agent is collecting agent will have the information like what Chrome is ever, what current version is there of all your browsers, Java, if there is a ADB. Okay, so it will collect all the information. It will also show the devices which are connected to your agents right now. So in this case, this is my local agent. So there is a one Android simulator which is connected right now. So it's showing under that. Okay. If you want to mention some tag, you can mention it. There is some message is here, it will appear here. And if there is an execution, current execution, if any going on here, so it will appear in this one. Okay. Also, the agent is available for the Docker. So you want to be like for the Jenkins we have shown you. So if you want to be Docker, if you have like containers here, so you are just approach for the CI/CD, you can just fulfill it. You just go to the Docker, and you need to just give the pull command to your Docker account. Okay, so it will just download and it will just configure your agents in the Docker itself. Okay, you don't have to do anything else. Okay, so let me show you one more thing of add-ons. So you know that we for the API we have used the RESTful add-on. So as I told you earlier that the test project itself is for the community base. Okay, so there is a people who are contributed the community. So if you want to be like I can develop a add-on and I can be fruitful, I can give some fruitful results to the community. Okay, so you can just create an add-on. So for that case, there is a SDK available. SDK version 1 will be used. The SDK version 2 will be used for our Java, C# and Python integration. If you want to be like code it is, for the normal case, you can use the Open SDK version 1. Okay. After creating it, you will just go to the create add-on here, mention the name. Yeah, after that, there will be one manifest file. Okay, so that manifest file you need to be in your project itself and build it as a jar. What we did for our code test, that we build a jar file and upload it. And after uploading, it will be showing under your my add-ons. And if you want to be make it as a visible to the community, you can just mark it as a visible, and it will be available for all the members of a test project, all the users of the test project. So there are many add-ons which are available right now. You can just go through them. There are many, like if you want to perform some JavaScript execution, if you want to run some JavaScript, you can also do that. There is a like a string util functions. If you want to perform any string operations, you can do that. Okay. Yeah. So after that, what do we do? Yeah. So let me show you one more thing. I have downloaded file as a package. I will download it as a normal file. Okay, I will not select as a test package. I will keep it as a normal file. So it will download a single YAML file. Okay. So if I want to open it again, if I want to be like I don't want to make a change in my YAML and I want to open it. So what you can just open a file. You can drop your YAML file. Okay, so it's a Android file. Right now for the mobile devices.
Hey Harsh, sorry to interrupt, but can we wrap up a session in like a few minutes so that we can accommodate 10 minutes for Q&A as well?
Yeah, I am almost done. So it will just take about 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, you can just upload your file, YAML file here. You can open it, and it will open in the recorder itself. Okay, so you can, if you want to be add few more steps, if you want to execute few more results, so you can just do that. If you want to make any changes, you can do that, and you can just again save it as a file. So there will be nothing like a footprints on the test project. Everything will be a local. Okay. Let me show you one more thing. Last thing. In the web, I will select one application. Okay, and then during the record time, I have a selection of a cloud and file as well. Okay, so if I select as a file, it will not save it in my test project. It will just download it in my local environment after recording has been finished. Okay, so current execution has been running. Let me do that again. Select it as a file start recording. A new instance will open up. The mention URL for our application which we have selected, it will open that application, open a recording file, and after recording finish, I can just directly save my file, save my YML file from directly from here. I will click on the save and it will download it. Okay. After closing it, nothing will appear in my test project. So there will be no footprints will be on the test project. Whatever you have recorded, it will fully on the offline, it will be available in your local. You can run it as a CI lab. From the CL, you can run the same thing. Okay. So that's just one more thing. Yeah. So test project also has exposed their APIs. So if you want to communicate with the test project, if you want to execute, if you want to create a job, you can just do all of those things with the API. So all of these API are being open, and you can use them API anytime. Okay. So what you need to do, you just need to authorize it. Before authorizing, you have to create a one API key here, and after API, you have to copy it, paste the value here, and click on the authorize. Okay. So your account will be authorized, and you can execute any API from here. I will just execute one API. Okay. I will execute. It returns the number of agents available in my systems. Okay. So like that, you can use the API. There are docs available also, and it will be shared in the chat as well. Okay. So let's wrap up the live demo and go to the next thing. Yeah. So if you have some questions, you can ask.
So can we ask like that, or we need to add it in the chat?
You can ask.
All right. Hi, Harsh. This is Neha from Dubai. And first of all,
Yeah.
thank you so much for the knowledgeable session.
Yeah.
I just have two questions for you. First, when you showed the test with the emulators of Android devices, so is it possible to connect the real devices with test project and run the test cases on there?
Yes. You can just connect your real device, and you just need to enable the USB debugging. So in case if you want to upload any APK, so it will helpful in that. And the test project agent will automatically detect that the device is been available, and it will show in your test project this as a connected. So you can execute in that as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And there's just one more question for you.
Yeah.
So as you showed about the API testing, I just
Mhm.
wanted to have currently I have the Postman collection already in for my project. So can I just import the same Postman JSON or the link into test project? Is there any way to do that?
No. Right now there is no way. You have to mention every endpoints, and if there is some headers or anything like that, you have to mention it manually. You can't just import the whole collection. So right now it's not providing that.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks again for the wonderful session.
Yeah.
Hi Harsh, this
Hello.
is Sai Krishna.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have one question. Two questions. Recently, I am trying to set up this API testing. This session is very helpful for me actually, and there is a new kind of interface or tool that they have launched, like Flood or something. So is it we can do performance testing or load testing with test project for this, right?
Means you cannot basically just give the number of users, there is a performance tool which are available like JMeter. So in that what you can do, you can just mention the number of users which you have to. So that kind of thing is not providing, test project is not providing. So basically, it's a automation tool from which you can just automate the test cases which are you can say like regression test cases or anything like that. So
Okay.
it will not support the kind of the performance which you want, but suppose you want to do with a data type of. So if you like your project is accepting numerous data, so what you can do, you can just create a one CSV file with lakhs of record, and you
Okay.
can at that time what you can do, you can just observe your application that with the tons of data how my application is performing.
You mean to say data-driven testing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the tons of data, so the data will be highly. So at that time, how your application is performing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can just test it that how.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? If you have some carries also, if you want to some discuss, so we are open.
I have one question regarding the codeless way of working. After we record the session, after we record the test, is it possible to break it into reusable components like functions and then to create new tests using these components?
Yes, we can do that. So what we can do that, you can just there is I will give you an example. So there is a login application. Okay. So before login, you have to be registered on that application. So what you can do that you will first record a case case for the registration. Okay. You will just save it. You will create a new test again for the login. And in the login, when you open it in edit mode, it will show you the add step as a manual. Okay, so in that you will just mention the test of the register and make it on the first position. So what it will do, it will just run first the register test case, and after that it will run the login test. So if you want to break it, and if you want to use it register test case for the multiple times, you can do that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hers. Hi, Hers.
Hello.
This is Mihir here. Hello.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for knowledgeable session. This is great. And yeah, I have three questions. So first, I have created one test case in some another tool, another tool. Okay, and after that, I'm importing that test case from that tool. And can we able to import that test case script of another tool in test project?
Yeah, you can do that. So if your test case is created in the Java, for example, and it has been created via Maven or via Gradle. So what you can do that you can create a jar file out of it, and a jar file with a dependency file. So team will share you the documentation for the uploaded code. So after that, you need to navigate to the test project. You will just click on the new, and in that you will click on the code, and it will just upload your generated jar file, and it will just run it. Okay. So you need just a jar file with a dependency, and it will just execute on the test project itself.
Okay. And one more question that means can we can we use this tool for drag and drop or custom field?
For drag and drop operations.
Yeah, like drag and drop custom field operations.
Yeah, there is a one add-on available, its name is drag and drop only. So you can use that add-on, and with that add-on you can just drag and drop.
Okay. And one more thing that can we do execution in multiple browser?
Means not
at the same time.
You mean parallel execution, but it's not directly available right now. It's coming in upcoming weeks. It's coming from the test project officials. But right now, what you can do, you can create a multiple jobs. Okay, so for Android web and API, you will create 3 jobs. Okay, and in 3 jobs, you will mention the same time, the same schedule time. So what it will do, it will just run all 3 jobs on the same time. Okay. So from that way, you can achieve the concurrent testing. But right now, from directly running, it's not possible.
Hi Harsh, this is Nimesh,
Yeah, hello.
and my hello.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
My query is related to one of the use case which I am currently facing on. So it's a combination of web and mobile. So a single test case is having a combination of both the things. Like I need to log into web, then move to mobile, then again need to come to the web. So how it is going to cover this thing in test project?
Yeah. So in the web, is it API or is it a UI part?
It's a UI part. Means for the web, for an example, for some time I'm playing with the web. Then as a part of the test case, I need to move to mobile.
Yeah, got it.
Then again moving to web.
Got it.
So is that kind of support?
Yeah, in one single test, it's not supported right now. So when we create a test case, we have to mention on which platform we have to run. But you can do one thing. You can create a multiple jobs, like for an Android job, for example, and for a web job. Okay. So what you can do first, you can do the web execution from the web job. And if you have something, if you want to store any value, so what you can do, you can store it in a global variable.
Okay.
And, you can use that global variable during your Android job execution.
Right.
So by that you can achieve this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi Harsh. Good afternoon, Dwanil here.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any ability that we can use test project for Kafka framework? Over there, what I'm used to do is to pick up the data from database, make it JSON, dump it over there, and match the strings, match the results with actual versus expected. So is there any approach or technique that we can use, but eliminating the Kafka framework?
Yeah. So you can do it. Just there is one add-on available for the database connection. So first you will just connect with your database, and whatever the operation you need to perform there, you can perform that. And if you want to get some data from the database, you can store it in a variable. Either it's a test variable or either it will be a global variable. You can store it. Okay. After that, what you can do, there is one more add-on for the JSON. So based on your value which you have stored in your variable, you can just dump it. You can just write it in your JSON file. Okay. So after writing in JSON file, if you want to, what do you do to next after JSON? What you need to do next? Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So actually, the source database source code will generate the JSON, and which is populated into the target project. Now we have two instances, like source and source project and target project. My use case is, if I pass string ABCD from source project, it should be migrated same into the target database, right?
Okay.
So JSON is my output, and JSON is my output that I supposed to be same. So that I need to assert, while using Kafka framework.
Okay. So I will check on that. Meanwhile, what you can do, you can just reach out to the email on my email or on the CSQ email. We will just send your use case, and I will get back to you.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time and response. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks.
Hi.
Kshitij here. All right. So thanks a lot, Harsh, and thanks a lot, Shailesh and CSQ team to arrange this. Harsh, my couple of questions. One is, I think a lot of others have posted this as well. So what can we do in order to have certain steps being reused in other test cases? For example, I can bunch, let's say 3 steps to create a customer profile, and I want to reuse that into my other test cases. What is the right way to do it?
Yeah, so either you can just create a separate test for that, or either you can, what you can do, you can just create a group. And what a group will do, it will, if you like, suppose 10 steps, so you can just select in the edit code, you can just select all those steps and you can just group it, and it will act as a single step. Okay? So either you can group all those, or either you can just create another test and just use it in another test which you want.
All right, that helps. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Hi, Samir here. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, one question is that is there any facility to rerun the failed test cases? So some retry mechanism.
Yeah, you can do via the recovery test. So what, suppose you are finding a one element, okay? So what you can do, you can just during the step, you will just mention a recovery test. So what recovery test do? Recovery test will give another path for that. Suppose, for example, it will give another locator path. Okay? So after giving the recovery, you will select that repeat it once again. Okay? So it will just get back to the real test, and it will rerun again that step. If you selected it as a rerun in the recovery mode, so it will rerun this step again.
Okay. And one more question. As you said that parallel execution is not supported currently, right?
Yeah.
But that we can import the existing project. Let's say I have one project in the Selenium Java based on the Maven and the TestNG, right? And I'm importing that one. So in the TestNG, there is a facility to parallel is equal to test or class.
Yeah.
So if I set that parallel in the TestNG file, then I will run in through the test project. Then what will happen? It will throw error, or it will run in the parallel all the test.
No. It will not import the TestNG XML file, because it will import just only the classes which are in those. Okay. So what we will do in the normal our Selenium, that we run that XML file. Okay. But in test project, you will only able to see the classes, and you will only able to run them, not the XML file. You will not see XML file anywhere after importing in test project.
Okay, so that will only import the classes, right?
Not only classes.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Anil here.
So,
hello. My question is related to API. So API, can we define some kind of SLA? Because nowadays what happens if we are not getting a response in the proper timeline, so obviously we are just terminating and giving the exception error, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first. The second is like in API, can we have instead of JSON format, can we have XML or TLB format in the that's the input and output?
Yeah. So on the first question, what you can do, basically test project provides an adaptive wait. Okay. So if you want to on the custom, so you can set the custom milliseconds in that in that milliseconds, if the no responses come, so it will mark it as a fail. Okay. So you can achieve it via those. On the another question, so right now in the RESTful add-ons, you can use the directly JSON part. Okay. But what you can do, you can just store a response in a one file, okay, and after that in one variable, and after that what you can use the add-ons called XML, and in those add-on you will use that variable, and you will do the operation whatever you needed on that value. You can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Now it was a nice session. My question is, if I want to execute my APM scripts, Jenkins job over the RDP or VMware, is there any way to launch emulators before running scripts in RDP? Because every time means before running means if I started the Jenkins job, okay, in my code I'm launching the emulators, but it is taking time, the RDP. Is there any way to launch the Jenkins through the launch this emulators through the Jenkins? Any other thing?
No. Jenkins can't not invoke your emulator or anything. It will invoke just a job. So if the targeted device is not available, it will fail in that case. So for that, you need to wait or manually check your targeted environment.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
For the session. So my question is like, is test project like, is there any integration with Zap tool, Bubsuit tool?
Which tool? Zap.
Zap. Oh, Zap. ZAP, Zap or Bubs tool that's related to security testing.
No. It's not
So
providing.
like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Like if I have a Selenium scripts related to that, so I can integrate it to.
No, you cannot directly integrate it. But if you want to import your Selenium scripts, you can do that. But you cannot directly integrate that tool.
And so, like, is there any in this? Means, is
Your
there any scope of supporting
Sorry,
them like
your
this
voice is
security
breaking.
testing? So I'm saying like, is there any future plan for test project to support the security testing? Like,
Might be in upcoming futures, but as of now, they don't have any plans as far as I know. But might be possible in future.
okay, thank you.